Good evening, viewers. I'm up against opperwezen tonight. We're doing a little bit of Crazyhouse World Championship training. This is mainly, it's still Crazyhouse, but the main thing being the 3+2 time limit, which is a big adjustment actually from the regular 1+0 or 3+0 time controls that are played, known as guillotine finishes, where you don't have any increment. So for those of you new to chess altogether or time controls, each move, both players get 2 seconds per move in this scenario. And what it means is it's harder to run out of time in time scrambles, and you rely more on the quality of the moves, less on the outcome of some mouse races. So that's a change this year. Last year the time control was 3 minutes and 0 seconds for the Crazyhouse World Championship. And so far from what I've seen, playing against the likes of opperwezen, the Asasira one as well, yeah, it does make a big difference to the quality of the games. You do need to play the best moves you can find from start to finish. Not that you're not trying to do that in Crazyhouse anyway, but yeah, there is a different quality of the game. Yeah, I'm gonna launch in here with Bishop G4. So he's picking up the queen. Now is he gonna sack on me or something? Maybe pawn at E6. I feel like, White's had to give up the queen for the piece here. Needs to find some kind of compensation quick. I am a little bit underdeveloped, so there's some sort of potential here on light squares. Okay, it is pawn at E6. So you got to be careful, because if takes, pawn at F7, bishop at D7, king up, knight D5 mates. You may even cover here, or there could be something creative like queen H4. But I think takes, king D8, bishop at G5 is a problem. King D7, there's bishop at E6 or bishop at F5. So I ended up dropping this knight anyway. So how to defend this? Yeah, this isn't a simple one. So the good thing about the increment is that you really can take your time with this sort of move here to really think it out. I'm thinking it might be take at knight e5, pawn f7, takes, bishop at d7, take with the queen. But then he'll only have the queen in hand that way. So yeah, let's try that. He can go pawn at d7 straight away, and then queen takes. Alright, well, I have to try to defend light squares, and I have to try to preserve this knight, because my only advantage here is the material. So, in principle, this is a hard path, but probably the necessary path. Okay, we've got a few viewers on the channel. Barakia Roll, hello. And Eclavia31 says, congratulations for the tourney win. Thank you very much. Wow, I'm also getting an auto host from Helms Knight and an auto host from Penguin GM1. So thank you, both Helms Knight and Penguin. Yeah, I need to figure out all this auto hosting stuff, donations, all this sort of thing. So I've been reading up a little bit about what I need to do to get that all set up. So yeah, I want to do a little bit more, with the Twitch account and the the momentum that's been built up with Crazyhouse on my own channel. Anyway, here opperwezen's decided to capture on f7, so now bishop at e6. I'm sensing like pawn at e6, knight at g5, unless I move to e8, and then knight at f7, queen h5. A critical decision here, there's pawn at e6 or king e8. I'm taking the time to decide which one's right. I don't like knight at g5, I prefer king e8. So knight at f7, queen h4, takes the rook, takes the knight, bishop f7 check, takes, and then he has a rook and queen in hand, but I think I'm still holding, just barely. Now I have 25 seconds, but I do have increment as well. So I believe black has the edge here, objectively. If he tries something like knight g7, bishop takes, pawn at f7, king d7, and he has no bishop in hand, could grab a knight, but no bishop in hand to stop me from getting my king to c8 and b8, which is where I'll find safety. So yeah, in this kind of sharp position, these are all the things that matter. Could go to e7, or I could go to h4. Taking my time here. It's going to be e7. A knight on c2 would be good, so if he plays bishop b7, won't be so easy for him. Okay, we got to talk less and play more here. Okay, here we go. I will take this one. So this is what I'm talking about, where you normally have a flag race, but in this scenario, I mean, the time pressure is still there, but it relies on accurate moves. Now he's got a thing where he puts his king, not in danger of bishop at e8 or a knight from the back. I'm defending from the front, and I can put a bishop on g5 or h6. Okay, but now he's going to get a bishop in hand. So I have to defend at the back here against bishop at e8. Now he's got the knight, so I have to cover against... Well, I'm okay now because I've got f7 covered. So let's try to get some attack here. Now I'll actually get him off my back rank. Really consolidate my king. Can afford to attack a little here. If he takes, I have rook takes f2, king takes, knight takes g4. So we'll play the check. Now I have knight g4. We're getting in a little bit here. I still have to watch my king at the back. Okay. And some kind of defense. So let's threaten queen at d2. So yeah, you can still see it's very intense, but we got to 38 moves. But it's all still on quality of moves right at the end with the 2-second increment. OKZH says I auto host you too, I believe. So thank you, OKZH. Yeah, so nice to have recognition of the channel. So I am going to make more of an effort to do things where, you know, there's new followers, there's people that want to make donations, there's things like that. Okay, so this opening, opperwezen's been very aggressive. He's done the knight sack there. Now here I should decide if the king goes to f1 or e1, and I'm too far out at the moment right now to make a very clean decision. This is more of a theoretical decision. So what's the basis of my decision making? If here, pawn at e4, and I want to respond to that in a certain way. So if knight takes, takes. So I'm going to say I just went out a book here, because I think some viewers have liked that. But then, yeah, knight takes h2 becomes a problem, because a knight at g3 check. So in fact, I'm going to go to e1, because of pawn at e4. And even then, I think it's still an issue, right? Because takes, pawn at f2, and then this knight takes h2 business is still on. So, do I need to take this with the bishop, or do I need to play bishop b5 check altogether? I'm thinking bishop b5, but then e5 is hanging. So these moves count for a lot. Or I can leave this here altogether. No, I'll play bishop b5 check. I'll defend the pawn after that. So yeah, fighting pawn down already. I don't think my opening is good here. Black has a pawn up with no weaknesses. I've got a hole here. I can't castle. This pawn is a little bit under threat. d4 would be nice to get in if he can make it work, because it's just pushing more aggression in an advantageous position. Takes, knight at f2. And he's got it. It's just a matter of bishop somewhere is going to hurt. So he's gone for e3. I think he's aiming for tactics. But I'm just going to shut down the tactics with pawn at d4. And that also prevents things opening up. Also the pawn defends e5, so now I'm threatening bishop takes e3. Plays knight f2, it's not such a big deal. I can bring the rook across. So while I've got weaknesses, I mean, he doesn't have any trades immediately available. Here he's hitting c2. Takes, he could take c2. But is that so bad for me? He'll have a pawn and a bishop in hand. I'll have the knights. The pawn isn't really hurting too much, so I'm gonna play a knight at b4, I think. But then he gets e6. That's not really helping me. I wouldn't be overthinking this so much if it wasn't a 3+2 game, but because of that increment at the end, it actually is worthwhile spending the time, I believe. I don't have to rush it. Black can't really trade a whole heap immediately, so I'm just gonna pick this one off a little bit slower. Now, do I want him to have the knight? Got this coming, knight or the bishop in hand? I think it's better that he has the knight. I'll take this way. And this way I just get to preserve all the material. So bishop c1 and queen h4. Okay. It's a little bit annoying, isn't it? So it looks like he's getting queen h4 first. And right, he's going to do knight e3 now, but I thought he should have taken first. That's alright, we'll get the queen. He's got knight c2. I'm going to put the king on f2 to avoid the bishop at d3 pin. This is looking ugly though, I don't have much to play for. Gone for the line that gives him the most active play. Knight c2 is on again though. Can pick up the rook. I really like how he's played here. Ouch, that one hurts. That one really hurts. This feels resignable. Queen at d2, the main threat there. Very hard to defend though. He can just pick off material because his king is so safe. I'm going to throw in the towel there. So yeah, I thought I was getting a bit safer, but he found activity with Queen h4. So I don't know if I even took too early, or if it's a theoretical thing where I shouldn't put the king on e1. Maybe the king belongs on f1. So we'll probably go down that line again tonight, and we'll see what comes of it. But you know, opperwezen just in fine form here. So I think he'll do well in the candidate section of the World Championship. He'll be a serious contender. 12-teen, of course, big contender from last year. Opperwezen came third in the candidates. 12-teen actually came first in the candidates, and I came second. But I did win the final against him by a narrow margin, 31.5 to 29.5. Okay, here's a situation where I feel like this is just helping white to develop, and I got away with it last game, but I think this game I'll try something a bit different and actually defend it. He'll still come at me with knight at h5 after a capture, but I feel it's better that his knight's not on c3 and I still have a forward pawn. Okay, so knight at e5. There's some kind of capture and pawn at e6. So out of book here again, guys. I gotta say, out of book. That's fine. I'll have to accept that. I'm accepting a capture and pawn at e6. And if not pawn e6, yeah, he might do that. But here he lets me get this in. I think I'll do this just to avoid the bishop takes f7 sack. But he could have played that one first. So he will pick off a pawn, but I'll also gain some safety from that. Unless he's trying something else, like knight at h5. Ah, this one. Oh, that's a miss. See if I can do anything with sack. Probably just go here and bishop e6. But I'm just losing a rook here. It's pretty poor miss. Because I could have got bishop at a5 on first even. Alright, we'll sack the queen. I think I'm worse off losing a rook cold. So he can take this if he wants. A knight at c7, king d8, queen at e8 takes, bishop at d8 takes, pawn at c7 again, king a7. But yeah, if he went for knight takes, I had queen at a5. So this is more accurate. He leaves my pawn on a7. So here takes, king here, takes, knight here, takes. Queen at c7 just looks bad. So then what do I have if not that? Alright, I'm still gonna try to defend. Throws in the check. Can I get the king to f8? Right. Oh, he's got some trick here. Jeez, that's nasty. Alright, we'll go to f8. I'm expecting queen b6, yeah. Okay. So I'm just a rook down. That's a real struggle. It's too strong there. Okay, opperwezen up 2-1. Gotta make a score here. Okay, Slim MG77. Morning from the US. Congrats on winning the 24-hour tournament. Thank you. It's a pleasure watching you play this brand of chess. Very nice. Thank you, Slim MG77. Okay, this is kind of becoming new theory for me. This pawn sack. Pawn is sacrificed by black and then sacrificed back. Now, is something like queen d4 playable here? I mean, knight takes d4 looks playable, but this is just... Yeah, I've got interest in this move. If takes. Now I'm looking at bishop f4. Queen at b4 check. And queen at d2 check to preserve the bishop. It's very direct here, looking at pawn to c7. If he defends it, I get to take this, and then I actually get 4 pawns for the piece, which is a lot of pawns. And the black king is stranded here, so you know, quite often in this kind of opening, black gets to have a safe king and a lot of activity here. I mean, black doesn't have any pawns to hit me with, so black's a little bit passive. King's off center. I've got 2 bishops nicely covering. So again, out of book. I mean, queen takes d4 is a new move for me that I'm trying here. But yeah, it just looked a little too interesting not to try. Queen at b4 he must be thinking of. Okay, he hasn't gone for it. So he's trying to disrupt my nice center here. So bishop d1 and queen at e4. I could probably leave this. This is a nice piece to retain. I'm also mindful of queen at b4 coming in and how I'm going to respond to that. Because you want the queen here. Yeah, I don't know what my candidate move is here, actually. Queen at a5 check, is that worth anything? He just plays queen at b6. I can't bring the queen here or here because the bishop at b4 after he captures there. So burning a lot of time again, but I was kind of happy with my position, and then now it's being threatened with this move. You know what? I'm going to be gutsy and actually castle. It's counterintuitive because it's like, well, I'm about to destroy your king side anyway, but he's only got a bishop and queen in hand. If he plays bishop at h3, I can't play pawn at g2. I'll have to cover it with the knight or with the queen somehow. But relative to the alternatives, I preferred this line. We'll see if he can prove me wrong. He is going to get some activity. I am seeing a line here. Takes, rook at d1, queen at e2, queen at e1, takes, queen at a5 check, and ripping off the rook. If takes, bishop h3, pawn at g2, takes, and I think the king's safe after pawn at h3. It's close, but takes, rook at h4 check. I'll have to take it. The bishop h3 will be interesting if he plays that. There's some sharp lines. So rook at h4 check. So let's play it. Bishop h3, pawn at g2, takes, pawn at h3, takes, rook at h4 check. I can't move the king because queen at h3, king g2, queen at h3 takes, king g1 takes h2 mate. I have to take the rook. Queen at h5 is no good because I get to g3. But then he has this move g5 check, where I could either take it or not. Well, let's not burn time on it if he hasn't played it. Looking for some rook at h1 trick. So let's play knight c3. And he gets b2. So he's playing for b2 and f1. Is the move actually queen at c1? Yeah, let's defend both threats. So when I say queen f1 is a threat, it's only because of rook at h1 check first. In this case, I'll bring the pawn on. I'm expecting pawn at e2. Okay. Play the bishop on d3. Maybe rook at d1. At some stage, if he just keeps attacking, he may actually run into a problem. Okay, I'm going to bring back the bishop to defend the king. Still attacking the queen as well, but most importantly defending the king. Okay, I've got a breather move here. He's still hitting this. I could play king h1 even. Yeah, let's go pawn at e2. Hard to decide. Pawn at e2. 2 seconds increment. That's what makes all the difference. Okay, I'm going to back off. Just focus on defense for a moment. I could have taken that with the bishop. Let's kick. If I can get that queen out of my house, that'll be nice. Okay. I've dropped this here. Okay, I should probably prioritize king side. Yeah. So I didn't like losing that material on b2. That's going to cost me. They're looking at d6 now. I gotta fight back. And with some safety, I get some moves. So I've got a huge wall around my king. Can be beneficial in time scrambles. Not making it easy for me. I don't really have a trick here. Okay, knight at h3 is a problem now. It's a real shame. He's getting away. You do need some endurance with patience. Just keep having 5 or 6 seconds on the clock with so much changing in position from move to move. Okay, I need a moment. I just need a moment to think here. Right, I'm having to make weaknesses on my king side. See if it bites me. Got bishop at f2 coming. I don't have mate on him if I get a check on the back rank. Yeah, he's being sneaky with this kind of move. That's a neat trick. I'm gonna have to take this. It's really unfortunate. Alright, still gotta cover up weaknesses, so we're still fighting here. But I'm just so far down on material. Clock's running down so fine. I think he's got me. All I have is pawns. I have to try to do something with pawns. But now he's got the big check. Yeah. It's kind of like, how long can you prolong death? Okay, I want to take the pressure off my queen being hit for just 1 second. So this is what I'm talking about, how 3-0 is very different to 3+2. Bishop g3 is on, but I should just sidestep that king h1. Go for the back rank. Fighting back here. Fighting back here. Okay, sidestep. I was gone for all money. I'm fighting here. Okay, pawn at e7. Now my pawns, I've exhausted my pawns. Okay, going in for the kill. Ooh. This looks very dangerous for black, but I haven't converted. I'm going to grab a bishop just to get some ammo. Okay. Alright, I should have mate now. Should. So queen f5 check. Rook e8, allowing the promotion if I really need it. I may as well do it. Wow, 97 move game. I've never played such a long game in Crazyhouse, and I've never been so down and out and fought such a long way. Chessfon27 says epic comeback. Yes, that was an epic comeback. That was amazing. I've never played such a phenomenal Crazyhouse game. Yeah, so, well, interesting from the opening all the way through. I felt, yeah, another comment from Chess127. OMG, this game is intense. Yeah, wow. That's one for the ages. Very happy to be streaming tonight. Okay, yeah, let's chill out. So Yeah, a few comments. Someone's asked if I had a haircut. Yes, I did have a haircut today. The hair's a little bit shorter. Um, yeah, probably looking a little more respectable than I did during the streams for the 24-hour event. Um, okay, let's actually try to focus and have a good game here. I will catch up on some of the comments. Universe Bullet 93 asking, JL, do you feel better than Yasser? I I think Yasser has improved a lot and still has room to improve. I still probably I've got a slight edge on him in the historical head-to-head scores, but he has been beating me in the recent streams I've made, if you've seen them. But yeah, I think I need more practice at 3+2 time control to take on Yasser more confidently. He's definitely caused me some problems. But as you saw from the game just then, there's a lot that can be played for in 3+2, where if you're used to just guillotine finishes only, uh, then yeah, you're not going to get a game like that 97 move comeback. Okay, I'm just looking. Uh, we've gone through a few lines here, and they've all ended up bad for me. So I'm just seeing how I can deviate without making things horrible. Yeah, what about F5? That just looks a little unusual, but all right. Opperwezen's given me some extra time here. I'm going to repay the favor. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just so we're nice and even. Okay, so F5 here, just to stop this off. I'm out of book here again. If D5 immediately, I can take here. So he's probably going to try to knock this away. Now I need to decide if I should take here or come back, or maybe even knight f6 is a move. But d5 is a very clear idea for him to break. Burning a lot of time in the opening today. Alright, I'm going to go for this. I feel like dark square weaknesses are probably the best compensation I can get. And then I want to hit with pawn at g5. Not keen on opening this up just yet, but f4 at some stage may be good. Didn't like pawn at e4 because he just took it, and basically I sacked a piece for a pawn. He got 2 pieces for a pawn, and he's just getting all the activity. Or he wasn't though. I had rook f4. Maybe I'll regret it later. We'll see. Maybe pawn at e4 was a bit better. But let's look at what we've got ahead of us. So pawn at e4 here, not liking it as much. Bishop c5 is starting to get a little bit active on his dark squares. And importantly, this bishop h7 can just unleash hell on black because there's a queen trade in the mix as well. So pawn at f6. Can't I just take it? Knight at h6 is not so bad. I don't know what this was achieving. Okay, so he wanted knight at e4. Okay, that's interesting. So I have an option. I can either take immediately or take. I get an extra knight, but it opens me up on h7. So it's actually positional idea here. This is positional as Crazyhouse gets, by the way. Positional is more like position of pieces as opposed to doubled pawns or opposite color bishops or things like that. I feel like that's just giving white too much. I will get the open file. No, we'll leave this knight on here and this pawn on here. If he plays king takes f2, yeah, then I'll consider taking this now. Could play queen b2, or we could start getting into the checks. I'm gonna be patient. You can chase a king back into its own corner, and you might just be chasing the king into safety. In this scenario, I actually was trying to bait bishop at c3 because I've got this bishop at d4 check here, which is quite nice. And yeah, this knight is pinned. Now, can I take this, or is that the wrong way to go? I should probably just take the knight. He's got bishop h7, but I could sidestep it, or I can take it. So he's planning. I'm going to grab his queen. May have missed this. He was planning takes, and queen takes d7 to get the attack rolling. Here, if bishop h7, I'm going to sidestep it, I think. Ooh, no. Maybe I've allowed too much. I can't. Pawn at g7 is deadly. Yeah, I gotta take this. But then queen at h5, pawn at g6. I'm playing with fire here. 9 seconds left. But queen at h5, pawn at h6, pawn at g6, king g8 looks like it's holding. If he doesn't mate me, I'm gonna have a couple knights to do things with. The bishop here. I've been trying to preserve his king on an unsafe square and build up my own material reserves. So rook at f7 might be the most accurate. Even then, bishop at g7, pawn at g6, king g8, rook takes, but I have to defend so accurately here, so I'm gonna stop commentating a bit. No, he's got me because he's got knight g5. That's sad for me. That's the point. Yeah, and then he's got rook at h7, king queen f7. That's a shame. I thought I had king h8 as a resource to defend against bishop takes h7, but I was too relaxed about that. So nice game from opperwezen. He's back up 3-2. Uday 444 says Yasser himself considers Jan the best. Oh, that's yeah, but he's such a nice guy, so you can't trust that. I think I'm probably wearing a few scars from the victories he's had against me, and maybe he's wearing a few scars from victories I've had against him. So we both have a mutual respect for each other. Yeah, d4 kind of looks interesting here. I'm out of book again. I'm just calling it. Move 4, out of book. Because a lot of people think it's about theory, and this game is so relatively unexplored to chess that I think both of us here are out of book. If knight c6, I'll play bishop b5 maybe, or could also play queen e3 check. This pin is nothing too much. I just feel like white's a pawn up here and holding it. So we could be pawn at b4. Yes. Okay, people, yeah, making some nice comments about the commentary. Thanks. Okay. What here? 94. If takes, I can take. Knight at f6 check. So he'd have to take with the queen first. Takes. Queen at e5 check. He can't play queen e6 because I'll take. So he'll have to play bishop e6. But then I get pawn at f5. Oh, we're going deep. Bishop d6. Look, that's interesting enough for me. I'm gonna play it. I'll let him do some of the thinking on his time. So I'm expecting. Well, queen d5 doesn't even work. I've got knight takes f6. What am I talking about? So yeah, this is just good for white. Yeah, that's a big oversight on my part. Now here I can choose to play aggressively, or I can just hang back and say I'm a pawn up. So this is more about finding the right way forward than considering things with too much concern. Knight c6 is a possibility though, now without the checks on the file. Yeah, I think knight f3 is making sense. Because queen g7 is on. Okay. Take here, knight at f6. Or take g7, bishop f6. Take rook takes, rook at g8. Am I giving away too much in that case? I feel like I'm giving away a bit of advantage here. I don't like it. Alright, we won't go crazy. Maybe bishop c4 was better than knight f3. Just really consolidate on this. So maybe queen e5. Just try to steal this pawn back if he takes this one. If the knight takes, I take this one. But 40 seconds. Let's not try to make it all happen in the last 10 seconds like I have been today. Okay, knight at e3 is natural. That just gives me some good safety here with knights. Stops any checks. Because there's not much point hitting a queen if it can just check you, then this also covers here. So we're just solid here. Pawn up. Asking where he's going to put his queen. Pawn at b5 could be coming. Could be some takes, knight at c7 tricks. I'm not sure. We'll play instinctively a bit. We love playing the game for this kind of situation. So I can say we're both having fun here. Okay, I'm going to develop. None of these captures are attractive for black. And I'm getting my pieces out. And then pawn at d6 might play at some stage. So, I mean, that queen's got to go here or here. He's going to sack the queen, okay. He decided that moving the queen was just going to result in more tempo being lost, probably. I can understand that decision. I'm guilty of the odd queen sack. So he's probably winning it back though here. He's got my queen trapped. So I'm going to try to hit him with knight at c7. I've got a few pawns here. I'm just one pawn up, so I need to take advantage of that in a hurry. Okay, we'll take this. So this knight also covers g2, which is nice if he tries to come in with pawn at h3. I just castled here because I don't want pawn at d2 to hit me. Just preparing pawn at e5, so my knight's not tied down to two jobs. Gosh, we got like 70 viewers. That's amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in. Alright. Getting me on the back. I want to be aggressive though. Rook at d1, queen at e2. I will cover the back. I think that's dangerous enough. Okay. Might get pawn e2, but I'll get some checks as well. How's this going to play out? Alright, bishop f4. I want my rook to be defending at the back. Okay, we'll place the queen. Okay, let's play. I've got a lot of pieces, but they're not on the board. They don't count yet. But my king is safe. Gonna be sneaky. I'm allowing this, but I'll grab e7, not the queen. Now, rook at f8, rook d8. Much more dangerous with these two working in conjunction with each other. So he's got no immediate mate threat. He needed knight at h3. He's just resigned there. So basically, I don't get the queen back immediately, but I'm going to get it. That's 3-all. Okay, e4. Yeah, I like the position I got before. Let's try that again. I felt like I blew it. So let's see if he plays into the same line. I mean, quite often if the two of us get an interesting opening, we won't avoid it. We'll find a way to play it again. And as you can see, he's doing exactly that. Okay, now he's deviating. So I can take with a knight or I can take with a bishop. I think I'll go with a bishop. So you got to watch out for bishop at h5 check here. That's a big trick. Okay. This one we'll just back off from. I can't open up this knight for the queen here. So here, on principle, I'm going to take that. And I think I'll castle into the storm. It looks dangerous, but that doesn't frighten me. Because he might try some take and g6. No, he's going g6 immediately. So I can't take this because he'll take. And then here, knight at g6 doesn't look good. Takes. King f7, pawn at g6. I can't run up. That's too much. But if I take, then after takes, then I can take f4. I don't mind that. So he gets pawn at h7, knight at f7, takes. And he's threatening rook at g8, but I'll have resources. Now if I take here, knight g5, takes, queen h5, blocker, queen g6, king h7, rook at h7. So I get mated if I take here. I either put a knight on f6 or h6. He's got rook at e8, rook at g8, so it's probably f6. He can't distract me with knight e4 because that's check. So he could just play rook at g8 still. He'll have a knight and a queen to attack me with. Alright. Okay, Orim15 says, you should write a book on ZH. It would make you a millionaire. Somehow I don't think so, just yet. I mean, the game has just picked up in popularity a lot recently. That's enough for me. Okay, what have I missed here? I've missed knight at g6. That's critical because he gets queen at h8 check, but I don't know if that's enough. Maybe he'll take e7 and then queen at e8. Then he picks up a bit more material because he gets bishop at f7 in. So I should. He's got knight g5. Ooh, not looking good. She's coughing him. No, I've made an oversight here. I'm not dead on the spot, but I should be dead on material. If takes, then pawn at g3 at least, and he can't take because of knight at f5. I might at least get a check, get a stronghold on f2, but okay, he didn't even do that. So what's he planning? Queen h6 check is a big threat. I think I could play knight at f5 here. I feel like pawn at g3 and he's just safe already. Or it could be rook at f6. Alright, I want to make the effort to remove this piece, so rook at f6. Also covering queen h6, of course. That's the original threat I made. So that's why knight at f5 and this were the candidate moves. Now he gets this. So if I take queen at h6 is going to make me... So I'm probably busted then. Maybe I did need to play knight at f5. Giving me some room to move here. Because if he went to d1 or f1, I got knight at e3 with check at least. Yeah, I'm pretty busted this way. He should just take f7. Yeah, this is resignable. So yeah, nice move there. Knight at g6 was played when I expected bishop takes g8. But then again, I don't know if I could have avoided it. Okay, e4, knight c6. I'll take this first, maybe. Okay, this isn't like hugely unfamiliar in terms of a situation, but I am kind of out of book here, in the sense that I don't know precise moves. So this is not unexpected. I'm trying to defend here. Pawn at g5, pawn at g3, takes. And at least my bishop's hitting f4. That's as deep as I'm seeing at the moment. Yeah. He gets it with a bishop, so he can take this one, but takes or queen takes? Queen takes maybe? Ah, going this way. Looking for pawn at g3. I have to accept that. I'm gonna give the queen here, but you guys already knew that, those that view the channel. Okay, if he went pawn f2, it was a bit easier. I should probably still sack the queen. Alright, I'm gonna do it. So maybe bishop? You kind of want to be aggressive enough and defensive enough at the same time. Alright, I'm gonna be aggressive then. Just because this threatens a check at least, so I'm I'm not just hanging back waiting for him to go pawn at b2, queen at e3. Even threatening bishop takes g4, pawn at d7 if he doesn't do something about it. And if he takes, I get to develop. If pawn at e4, then bishop at f5, and I'm threatening pawn at d7, also threatening a recapture on e4. So, yep, I've got the, what have I got? 2 pieces for the queen. And while my position looks a bit disorganized, in fact, you know, these doubled pawns aren't so bad for defense. It gives a nice force field there. Right, that looks like a target. So in principle, I'm going to play knight at e5. And I've got the back covered. Like, my king looks like it's got gaps, but there's this weird force field of pawns keeping black out. Okay, people talking about Crazyhouse might already be more popular online than 960. Yeah, well, here's the thing. I mean, opperwezen and I have already done a stream with Crazyhouse 960. So combining the two, so you get a jumble of pieces at the back rank, but you also have the Crazyhouse elements. I'm can't see what's wrong with this. Because he might be banking on taking and then bishop takes f3, but I got knight at f6 check. So this looks very good for white. Yeah, Crazyhouse 960, and opperwezen has been very persistent with me, probably for a period of months, saying that he wants 12teen and I to have a Crazyhouse 960 match. And he's basically won some prizes from some events, so I'll announce it here. And he's, I think it's just 120 bucks, but he's going to put that towards me and 12teen having a match of Crazyhouse 960, which will go for a number of hours. So we will make that happen, probably late in April. But I'd like to get the audience more familiar with Crazyhouse 960 before we dive straight into that. So that should be a whole lot of fun. In this situation, I'm just looking at how I should finish. And I really hope Crazyhouse 960 comes to Lee Chess one day. That'd be awesome. So check, check, and then I'm looking at opening up this f7 square. So when I put a knight here, get a rook with check and put it on f7. Now that looks like it makes sense. I don't have to play bishop at c5. It might be good to preserve a diagonal piece. I think I'm safe enough at home, so let's go for it. This bishop is covering some important squares, but that's the hole I'm looking for. The entry point. Okay, he's defending nicely. Okay, isn't too worrying yet. We'll take this one. He can't counter immediately with pawn at f2 because my knight's covering g4. I could take it straight away, or I could play knight at f7. I think got to get this one right because e3 is a dangerous way for him to enter. We'll go here first. Pawn at f7, the threat. I'm still holding at the back. He can't take this. It's pawn at f7. He's still defending. Maybe that should have been with a bishop. We'll see if that counts. I've got knight d6. I've got a rook at d8. Just left myself short on the clock. He takes my knight here. I'm going to recapture. Alright, here he goes. He's banking on good defense. Yeah, I'm regretting not having the pawn there now. It's cost me in the end. Alright, I may have to defend. If I had a pawn, that would be all. I should have used the bishop first instead of the pawn. That's the only difference. He's got mate now. Yeah. Oh, it's close. Yeah, that's unfortunate. He got me. I'm gonna step back here. I knew as soon as I played it. Here's how close it is. Putting the bishop on instead of a pawn. So here, if I play bishop at f7, if the king moves, then rook at e8. If the king goes up, then bishop takes f6 looks dangerous. So you get the same move, takes, but where it becomes different, if I can get the analysis board up, is here. Yeah. After a move like this, in the line that was played, you can promote to a queen here. And instead in the game I had a bishop, which would be not check, so then queen at e2 mates me. So that's a critical difference there, but I only saw it after I played it. Okay, let's get back to games. King Coney making a second comment about a new haircut, says looking good, thank you. That's amusing. Hang on a sec, I just had white, so let's abort this game. A rematch. It's 88 viewers now, okay. Yeah, I did like this opening still. Let's go for it again. Okay, I'm gonna focus a little harder on the game here. I'm down 3-5. I need to make up some ground. I'll put more into the game, a bit less into the commentary. Play the check first. I think this is fine. We'll get bishop c4. I play bishop c4. That's a bit wicked. No, we'll actually take. If he gets the queen on f3, I don't think that helps him. But he hasn't gone that way. Completely out of book again. Pawn g6, bishop c4. I can't castle then. Gonna be bold and castle into this storm. I don't like bishop c4. If I hang in the middle, he's just gonna hammer me on light squares anyway. So you gotta take the fire or the pan. So out of the pan into the fire, as they say. So I've chosen the fire. Now with bishop c4, I think knight at e5 is more effective because rook is already defending. If it goes bishop h6, then pawn at g6 is okay. So it's not horrible. Okay. Just planning on coming in on light squares, isn't he? So what's wrong with king h8? Alright, hopefully I'll just be less short on time. So okay, I'm not under immediate mating attacks for a change, which is nice. I'm going to hold on to my pieces here. I'm waiting for him to play bishop c4 before I try knight at e5. Normally you're just trying to get your pieces on as fast as you can, but if I get my knight on and I'm not attacking a piece, he can probably play f4, and then the knight's not where I want it to be. So in this case, I'm trying to mobilize something on the queen side, pawn at d4. He decides to castle queen side and I've not made any progress here, then he's going to be much safer. And then if there's a big trade-off of pawns, it'll be like a knight f7, pawn at e6, rook f8, pawn at h6. That can all happen fast, so I don't mind that this pawn could be getting traded off because it would take the bishop off h6. Anyway, let's focus on the game. For some of you who've just joined, I found the highlight of this stream so far was game number 4, where we had a 97 move Crazyhouse match, and I was feeling like I was down and out, and I had 7 pawns in hand, and somehow with the increment came back to fight it for a win. So not saying it's a highlight because I won, but just I've never played such a long, intense Crazyhouse match ever before. This Ladisios says, is JannLee from New Zealand? No, I'm from Australia, but to those that don't live close to Australia and New Zealand, sometimes they can mistake us from being some part of the world that's not Europe or America. Okay, allowing queen a5 check. Yeah, I find this move unusual. I want to exploit this move. I feel like it's restricted there. I don't think anything's going to happen on f3 because this knight's defending. But yeah, I feel like I've got his bishop on the back foot now. Now this knight's probably leaping to f4. Would be useful. Okay, queen b6. Maybe. Just threaten to win the pawn. Right, I'm gonna go for knight f4. No. Okay, I'm taking a lot of time here. Right. Bishop b5, defend the knight. He comes out this way, then I may go queen a5 check. No, he goes for this. Okay. Here we go. Don't know if I've converted this right. f7 was on. Bishop d2, but take this. So I need to make something happen on the dark squares quickly, or else he'll have a mate threat lurking. I'm trying to win his queen back, and then hopefully his king's more open than mine is. Okay, pawn at d2. So he might try pawn h6. He's going knight at h6. Right, can I get safe very easily, or do I have to Fight hard. Alright, let's put the pawn on first. Oh, nasty. Okay, I didn't see that coming. It's a killer move. Oh, I've blown it now. No. Yeah, he's got... That was disappointing. He really tricked me with knight at h6 there. That was nice. I didn't have enough time. Maybe the queen should have gone to g8 instead. Or maybe I had an attack, but I felt like I blew that one. I had much better than the way I played. So he's up 6-3. I'm playing very well. So this one's a well-trodden line, this h5, h6 idea. Commonly a knight on f5, putting some pressure on g3. So I've just got some latent ideas here. I just need to stop the bleeding, really. But really enjoying the quality of the matches. Bishop at a3. But I can just put my bishop somewhere sensible, can't I? f4 or e3. And d2. No, I think e3. Because he's got knight at b2, but that's nothing to be concerned about. If he puts a knight on f5, I don't mind capturing it. Yeah, he's kind of committed this bishop to this diagonal, and he didn't have to do that. Now he can't put a bishop on a light square. I'm gonna take advantage of this threat. Queen a4. Threatening here. Queen d7. I want the knight on f4, but he plays knight at g5. But then can't I just play bishop g4? He might play bishop g5. So here I'm deciding if I should play knight f4 or knight at f4. I think I'll put a new knight on. I find this has some benefit preventing knight at e2 and preventing things on g3. This is expected. Bishop g4. And my plan is to make something happen on d5 potentially. Okay, g6. Feels like something should open up for me here. I'm glad I've got the knight on e2 here still, because I still feel solid back at home. These bishops are really solid too. But I'm now getting to use a pawn on c3. So I feel like I'm getting to move some pieces that will make the difference. Now pawn at d5 was my next idea. If he went back to d8, then I had rook b7 takes, queen check, and then winning the rook. But here though, I've got this pressure here and this pressure here, so I'm happy. The piece sack is looking good because I'll probably recover the material. He could try something like knight d8. Oh, he's got knight e5. That's a shame. Okay, I'll grab this one though, so I get this hit. Okay. Very sharp. Think, hard to say which one I should take first. Gotta watch out for counter-attacking. Go this way. He's got knight g4 though. I've kind of... Maybe I should have taken this first. It's just these slight inaccuracies that are going to cost. Because now he's got play. Right, I have to be very aggressive all of a sudden. Yeah, it should have been DC first, I think. Then it's just I wanted to make him use his queen to defend the back rank, and I didn't achieve that. That's why I'm a bit disappointed. Okay, now looking for bishop at b5. And all the while I've got to be making sure there's no knight at h3 or something that's going to mate me. Got to decide if I want to take this one with the rook or the pawn. Intuitively you might think the rook, but the pawn is threatening the light squares, so that could be important. The rook allows you to capture g5, but I don't think that's worth much. This is the problem for me. He's now very well defended on dark squares, so I have to prioritize light square attacking. Now he's got this check, but that's not mating me yet. So I have to seal off the king from f8, even though I don't have diagonals sufficient to continue just yet. Rook g8. Yeah, I gotta work out if I capture more material and which one matters. I think I'll play it this way. Oh, I thought he'd... Okay, he's saying he's got enough defense. Now I've got a counterfeit queen defending my kingside as well, so I'm feeling pretty secure at the back. But I'm threatening pawn at c6. And if he comes here, I've got g5. If he goes here, then rook at a8, and the pawn on b7 or d7 is going to be trouble. But it's the safety of the king here, which highlights how powerful the attack is going to be. So he's got my queen here though. That's a nice move from him. Do I have mate? I think I've got mate here though. If he goes king e7, rook at d7 is mate. If he went here, rook at b8. Oh, maybe here was actually still good for him. I might have to play knight e6. In any case, another good match. Okay, stop the bleeding. We're at 4-6. Let's throw in e5. Bishop c5, I think theoretically should be better for white, but we've seen some interesting games come out of this line against a number of players. I employed this gambit numerous times at the chess.com tournament where I did quite well with it, but theoretically I think I think there's issues with it. It's a very practical play. So I've taken here to countersack because if I just took here, he had queen h5 check, winning the bishop and 2 pawns cold. In this case, I don't know if it's king or queen takes. What's the better option? So out of book again, of course. Bishop at d5 is the one to look for. Takes, take. Yeah, we'll take with the king. Bishop at d5, I'm looking at king e7. Takes, takes. Queen at f7 here, queen g7. I can't play pawn at e6 because he'll just take, and after a recapture then knight at e5 check, king moves. I think it's worse without the knight here. Okay, so he's just going to cover up complications by blocking. Asking the question, what are you going to do with your disorganized pieces? So I'm going to hit here because the queen is still attacking this. Pawn at e5, I could play queen b6. Threats. I'm confident we're both out of book here. This is very interesting. Now he's also got bishop takes g8 and knight at d5. He may have been just playing this move to avoid me capturing here. I'm going to play the move that I mentioned. Wow, he's just going to give up the queen. Or I can take on c2. Now he's going to get this knight at d5 trick though. So let's grab the queen. He gets some king safety. And now the king belongs back somewhere. Put it on f8. Can't allow knight at d5, so I have picked up his queen. I don't think he would have wanted that when he first got into the opening though, so how to continue from here, right? I need to generate some attacks somewhere. So knight d5 is an obvious way forward for him. But I wouldn't mind another knight in hand, because if knight at d5 takes, takes, and he'd have to be concerned about me sacking a knight on g4 or e4. Even if it doesn't work right now, it may work later. So I'm kind of here just saying, you sure you want to put a knight on d5? So this covers the knight g4 threat somewhat, not entirely. It's just a good development move. b6 makes sense. Got to get my bishop developed. Got to try to trade off this pawn, which is his asset. The queen could on b6 or again taking some time here. I'm going to play here, only because he could get his bishop active here, so I'm going to leave a pawn on d6. Alright, let's try to do something good with this position. Kind of wasting a piece, isn't it? Pawn at d4 perhaps. I'm looking for the mate now. Yep, I think I got grounds to do it. The C line takes, knight at g8, knight at g4. And I've got two pawns and the queen in hand. If he takes this, knight at e4 is mating. So this was expected. He might be getting away here. But I've not really sacrificed anything, so let's go. Bishop takes g4 was lost, but this is at least surviving. And now I'm low on time. I want to keep the knight for f2. Use the position calls for accurate play from both sides. Queen sack. Don't know if it's good enough. Bishop takes. I'm banking on pawn at e3 being enough for mate, but whether it is or not is another question. Because I just have so much material. It's going to be more about if I have the right pieces, the right squares. He may have some kind of way of getting back to c1 and I'll be one pawn short. Okay, he's decided to defend. I'll check from distance. Got takes. I'm also covering f5, which is important. So he may sack twice here, but this covers off the knight checks. Okay, this looks positive for me. Whoa, hang on. I didn't mean to lose the knight there though. Still I got play. Because now this pawn gets to play. He does run out, but maybe I can put something together. Pinned, unfortunately. Oh, his clock ran down in the end. I mean, whoa, that's our first flag. Perhaps bishop at c4 was better there and just taking that. But yeah, it wasn't easy. Right, 6-5, close match. Okay, a6. On principle, playing bishop here to support pawn at e6. Now, pawn at e6 kind of runs into this queen d4 thing, which ends up not being as good as it looks. We'll play knight c3. Just hold on to this pawn. b5, I might be able to take this. The bishop b3 here. And pawn at e6. Okay. Let's see. No, he plays e6. Out of book here. I was from a while back. But you guys can probably tell from when the thinking starts. let's develop a little more. I'm hitting two things, so seating the rook. Knight at f4 maybe. Hitting here. But I could play knight g1. That's interesting. Because I don't want to play queen at f1, then I have to give the queen away after pawn at e2. Could play pawn at e2 as well. That's probably the better one. Just give this away. And then you get rook g1. Because this is nicely developed. I don't want to have to undevelop it. Also, the rook file is still open, so yeah, I'm basically a rook and a pawn up here. I can't afford to give one pawn away for some nice safety on d1. So let's just try to consolidate here. Cold rook up. Both kings safe. So now I need to make the rook count. Wow, we're going up to 90 viewers now. That's great. Flourish in the house. Hey, Flourish. It's one of my regulars. So for those who've just joined, main point here, we're playing a 3+2 time control, which is the determined time control for the Crazyhouse World Championship, and it's a big adjustment because of the you're taking away the flag. There's a lot more value in the quality of moves being played. Yeah, I will be posting this to YouTube if you didn't catch the start of it. I certainly recommend the game, the fourth game here. Check that one out. That was a 97 move game where I made a fantastic comeback by my standards, at least. I've never played a game like that before. I've been looking down and out with just 7 pawns in hand and somehow came back to win. Okay, now I feel like this knight is trapped. So I'm going to try to just squeeze here. Pawn at h3 is the only move that really defends it. And here pawn at b7. No, that doesn't do much for me. Let's play pawn at g4 even. Or could go queen c7. I should do something on the dark squares. Not sit on the position too long. Okay, let's... No, he's gonna play bishop e6 anyway. That's helping him. Come on, gotta move, gotta move. Alright. Very indecisive here, but I feel like I should have the upper hand. It shouldn't be so difficult to find moves. The main point of this is to cover b4 to allow bishop at a3. Okay. Also defending against potential knight at e3 mates if there's something on the file. Yeah, he didn't like that I was going to come in on F8. Actually, I will be right back. I'm just going to take a quick toilet break. Alright. Okay, ZH has asked, will you post the Revolution videos to YouTube? Yes, I already have. The 24-hour tournament videos are all there. There's 5 parts to it. If you go to my YouTube channel, like if you just type JannLee into YouTube, it'll come up JannLee Crazyhouse. You can click on the channel, um, and there'll actually be one of the sections there is called a 24-hour Crazyhouse tournament. I worked out. I actually did more than 12 hours out of the 24 in the end. I was aiming just for 24. Uh, so yeah, I was fortunate because the timing could not have been better for me, in that we have a public holiday, well, two public holidays for Easter on Friday and Monday, and this was right in the middle of my weekend on the Saturday 9 p.m. kickoff. Not only that, I had daylight saving change as well at the same time. So I actually thought I was seeing things or going crazy because I just played too much Crazy House. Um, I was probably maybe 5 hours into a stream, and the clock I saw said 2:50 a.m. I thought, okay, I should probably go to sleep soon. It's nearly 3 a.m. And then about 15 minutes later, it was 2:05 a.m. I was like, what? Am I seeing things? Am I going back in time? So my clock automatically adjusted itself 1 hour back, at 3 a.m. and then I got to see 2 a.m. start again. Um, yeah, for a moment I thought I was losing my mind, but it was just daylight saving. But that meant that the next morning I could wake up an hour earlier in theory. Um, Turns out I didn't though, because Bella slept on time, so she woke me up, and she was kind of my alarm. I'd say I got about 4 hours sleep maybe, and being awake already, I just got back to it. So yeah, I pretty much got 4 hours sleep, uh, and maybe took her to the park sometime during the day. She unfortunately got sick that night. So I was actually looking forward to playing some Bug House, and Helm's Night was going to put up a stream, but I had to decline it in the end because she wasn't well. Such is life. Got to work around. Uh, got to work around the kids. Okay. Can I break the position open here? I'm looking at this actually being an idea now. Um, yeah, by no means is this familiar as well. I mean, kind of after e5, bishop c5, d6, like move 3, I was feeling like I was out of book. Pawn at g5 potentially. Should I take this first though? I think that's worthwhile capturing. It just puts the bishop off this diagonal, and the king is already tucked away here. I like this opening so far. Now, pawn at g5 or knight at d4. I feel like if you can play e4, e5 as black and you're not getting smashed by some theoretical trap, then you've at least achieved equality. And then from there, there's a game to play, and then you need to play it well. So here I think, yeah, I need to work out how to make use of the dark squares, get the bishop out, possibly even the queen out at some stage. But with pawn at g5, bishop g3, I'm not really getting there. Could go knight at h5, but he gets knight at f5. I feel like I want to hit with diagonal pieces. I'll actually go knight at g6. In that way, if he gets knight at f5, I am going to have e7 covered. So let's see what he decides to do here. But yeah, I'm very much focused on these squares here. Okay, rolls of time. I've never played Crazy House. I'll stick to watching this. That's great. I mean, I started this channel about 2 years ago, and it was all about expanding the game. So it's phenomenal to hear a new person that has not played the game before or seen it. That is what it is all about. So thank you for joining, and thank you for sticking around. I hope you'll enjoy what comes in these games. So, yeah, he's defended it with a knight. Okay, let's be gutsy here. I may actually have to defend instead of attack. Oh, although if he takes here, I should take here. Okay, so knight is sneaking something here. Knight e7. He's got something devious here. I'm not letting that bishop go unanswered. Maybe bishop takes f6 here. No. Okay, I'm gonna sack that queen. Not even recapture. I want the king side here. I got 11 seconds, but I'm thinking that time is all well invested. Can't say I'm managing my time well, but he's got to decide what he's going to do with this counterfeit queen now, how he's going to capture something or not. But I just felt with knight takes e7, I was giving up something tactical. I didn't see it. It was more of a feeling, an instinctive feeling that I was giving away too much. Okay, sack. So I'll now switch from dark squares to light squares. This square probably should be reserved for a knight. I'm just gonna hit this one. Put the knight there, like I said. He can't counter me that quickly. Yeah. Trying something with queen h6. He's got to take this, so queen h6 has to be his play. No. Alright, now, okay, well now he's trying something dangerous. So I'm stopping queen h6 here, because he had a pawn at g7 trick he was lining up. Queen at g2 didn't feel appropriate yet. Alright. Gonna threaten rook at h1. He's got the knight, so queen h6 coming. Damn, it's time that's killing me here. Alright, I've got some tricks up my sleeve. Yeah, he ran out of time in the end. I mean, ooh, that's sharp with only a second ago. I was going to take here, knight takes, and he didn't have a pawn for g7, so I was still fighting hard. Oh, where did he go? Still on, so we'll play on. I felt I didn't clutch that one there, but I was happy I didn't give up to some kind of queen takes h6 check trick. So Tushar Kamde says 322821630. Wow, are you guys crazy? So many games. Yes, we both love the game, Crazy House. Um, yeah, there's a few comments on different players. Someone's talking about Kren. Says offers a strange dynamic as he can go toe to toe with 12 team, but loses 2-1 to JannLee. Yeah, there's a lot of style things in Crazy House. You have aggressive players, defensive players, players in between. Uh, I truly think the best players can actually do a bit of everything, and certainly the likes of opperwezen and 12 team can cover all facets of the game. 12 team, while he likes to play aggressively, he's got plenty of defensive resources too. Yeah, I'm thrilled to see what the Crazyhouse World Championship brings this year. I think there's going to be some phenomenal games. Okay, I'll go King F1 this time. I went King E1 last time. Okay, but now he's putting the pawn on C4. I'm probably going to have to give up a pawn again, but I'll give that up. But I need to at least make a dent here. So bishop at H5 is a possibility. Threatens knight H2, winning the queen. Also, more importantly, defending here. So black a pawn up, but a little bit underdeveloped, just with this knight to show for it. Maybe even knight e5, pawn at f6, but then queen d5. I'm out of book here, so see where this goes. Okay, Raoul is the time. I didn't see this question before. What do you think of Kazım Gulamali? Kazım Gulamali, possibly better known as B.A. Boris on Fix, has been playing Bug House, at least, also Crazy House, but Bug House in particular, longer than I've been playing Crazy House, and I've been playing Crazy House for pretty much more than half my lifetime now. So I'm now 32. I probably picked up the game at 14 or 15, long time ago. Yeah, Kazım knows his stuff. Very strong player. Um, yeah, I mean, he's got to want to play though. So when he wants to play, he can really bring it. Um, and I think he's been. I don't know if he's been more on chess or just doing more in life recently, but he was undoubtedly the best Bughouse player in the world. And probably before me, the best Crazy House player in the world. And if he wants to focus on it, he could still challenge the top ranks again. I'm certain. It's that raw talent which is just there. So I have a big respect for Kazım Gulamali. Um, Unfortunately, I haven't got to meet him yet in real life. Uh, but yeah, big respect. He's one of the old school guys, and I'm just gonna go knight at f4 here. I know I'm just talking a lot of stuff about Kazım at the moment, but he can't really play e6 because I take this. So I'm just going to try to keep undermining light squares. E6 will be a problem for him at some stage because this knight just has nowhere to go. I'm not surprised that he sacrificed the knight altogether. He'll be doing a pawn at f6 here. Alright, can I get fancy? Can I take this? Or do I just take d5? Or do I even take c7? No, I don't want to play simple, I want to play fancy. Okay, I can take the rook, the pawn. I think the rook makes more sense. Pawn could make sense because it covers d7. It's fun here. In chess, you just take the rook straight up. I'm going to take the pawn here. I'm going to value that coverage. So, okay, let's focus here. I have the two pieces for the queen and a pawn, and pressure on f7 and d7. So I'm playing for mate here. This knight is covering some squares nicely for defense. Queen at f5 is a possibility, but I've got pawn at f4 to cover it. So yeah, just trying to be very aggressive here, make some mate threats. So it could be like pawn at e6 that comes next. No, he's gonna give this guy. Interesting. Is he gonna hit with h6? No, he's gonna take that. Ah, he's got queen at f5 check. Well, that's okay. Place a bishop. We'll get this one, but I get pawn at g2. Everything's still hanging, so importantly this pawn is also covered, so I'm not letting him run away with a whole lot of material in a hurry. He doesn't have much else other than this. Now he's got to back the queen off. And I could claim a queen back with pawn at d7, but I'll probably look for more than that. I'll be looking to convert this to stronger attack. Bishop at h3 maybe, or knight at d4. Bishop at h3. If I can win the queen back, I'm clearly ahead on material. So he's had to play to defend d7, f7. I'm going to defend h3, but at the same time threaten pawn at f5. So now I'm up on material, a piece for a pawn. It's okay, we'll just cover against pawn at g2. So I can try to really go for the opponent here, or I can squeeze. But time is the issue here. So let's respect the clock. I'm gonna go for this. It's gonna be brutal in here. I don't have a good square for the knight anyway, so I have to push into this. So takes, bishop at f7 takes, knight at g5, king e8, queen at f7 here, queen e6 check, forces king e8, pawn at f7. If he doesn't take it, bishop e6 also stops the king from getting a c8, so that's the key. Don't let the king get to c8. And then I don't want to let the king get back to d7 because it could then get back. So if he went here, queen at e6, king e8, pawn f7. If he goes here, queen at e6. I didn't see the mate completely, but I also had knight b7 winning the queen. Probably bishop e5 actually. Yeah, takes, queen at f4 mate, or yeah, queen at b5. So yeah, solid game. I've got a streak of 5 wins, so I've stopped the bleeding and come back hard. Okay. Early pawn sack. Right, let's challenge the center with d5. So, same principles in chess. I mean, if you play for center and play for open development, it can't be too bad. Okay, queen d4. Take. So I mean, in chess, you probably don't like having this scenario of your king off center, but here in Crazyhouse it's not too bad because you can bring all of the pieces to your king. Now if queen at e8, queen at d5 is annoying here. I feel like I actually need to play king e8. If not king e8, maybe bishop e6. Yeah, bishop e6. I just don't like the look of bishop e6 because it opens up weaknesses later. But yeah, king e8 runs into bishop c4. Okay, I just got to stop queen at d5 check. So against principle, I'm going to play bishop e6. We'll see if I pay the price for ignoring my instinct. I'm expecting queen at d4 check. I could even hold on with pawn at d5 here. I could maybe hold on to that. So he might even just take this pawn and claim he's slightly better. Just because my king's a little off center. But okay, queen at b4 check forces maybe knight bd2. No, he's going aggressive. He always finds a sneaky way to get this pawn a6 in. So if takes, he's either going to take the bishop or the pawn and then play pawn at b7. But I got queen at b4 check, so I don't believe this works. Alright. But oh, he's got queen at d2. Okay, so that's what I've missed. Then I got knight at d3. Takes. Ooh, yes. Okay, I like this. Well, you can take with a pawn. That's fine. I'm better off getting rid of this. There's really sharp stuff in the opening. Knight at d3 check. So he's blocking my check with a check, and then I'm blocking his check with a check. Because I want to get this. Now, if he takes with the bishop, I'm actually going to recapture. Probably didn't see that. Because now if he queens here, I actually take his queen and I get mate with queen at e2 because of this pawn. He's counter-checked me again. So that's, I haven't seen that. This one I am going to have to take. And then he'll make a queen with check. So we're just tricking each other here. Really interesting stuff. I think I'm just going to put the knight on and just lock this queen away. Okay. Tricked and counter-tricked the hell out of each other. I'm not backing down. So I don't mind this. I mean, yeah, I have some pieces here to use, but I'm going to keep forcing the issue. Like bishop at c4, because it covers this bishop as well. So if the queen runs to f3 and comes off the file, I can play here. I mean, he might take this knight and check. Rook at d2, takes, queen with check. Gosh, this is full on. Okay, but no, he's allowing pawn at e2. Alright. Queen d2, yeah, I'm thinking pawn at h3. So you can't play like a rook at b7 because I'll take it and play for mate. He takes here, then I'll take this way and I'll have knight at f3 or knight at g2 mate. The idea of this is just to make a hole on either g2 or f3. Here he's covering f3, but he's exposing a rook. So bishop d6, unpinning this pawn and hitting the rook, threatening rook at f1. I'm looking good here. This is a good match. He holds f3 with rook f5. I then get to develop this knight. So maybe he takes this one to alleviate pressure with queen e2. But I don't feel like I'm getting attacked anytime soon. I've got the initiative. Okay, is there a trick here? I feel like this should just be taken. Probably even take with this one. The knight at f3 is the mate threat. Now this is coming. Wow. Okay, queen check. Trying to make sure I'm not getting mated somehow, but it shouldn't be possible. Stranger things have happened in this game. Okay, he's defending now. Well, let's get in. Yeah. Takes. Knight takes e4. Wow, what a game. I'm playing a good standard here, as is opperwezen. Yeah, don't be fooled by this scoreline. Like, I'm fighting hard for every point here. We're both living on the edge in a game like that. I miss stuff and he missed stuff, but it's just beautiful and brilliant. That's just how it should be played. I do have to give opperwezen huge props for how creative he can be. This on the other hand is still book for me. Just looking to grab this pawn. There's a line with e3 here, which is basically blocking off the defense of this knight, and then it usually encourages the sack and f takes e3. Yeah, comment OKZH saying super game. Yeah, that game just there was a really nice one. Game 15, and also I gotta say game number 4. Go and check that out. I will post all this on YouTube. Raoul's the Time, one of our new viewers, saying Crazyhouse Super GMs right here. That's a nice title. It's funny, today I was looking after my kid, and she was just running around the playground while the wife was shopping. So I found a husband chair, which is basically the term we have here, which is a place for a husband to sit because he's waiting for someone who's shopping. And I thought, okay, I'll log on to Lichess and I'll play in one of these arenas. I think it was like a Queen's Gambit declined arena, and I had Bella distracting me as well, and running to me every 10 seconds or so. And I just played the most worst chess ever. I was really embarrassed. I was just blundering things in one move. Yeah, and I feel like just exclusively playing Crazyhouse and nothing else has just completely damaged my chess game. Yeah, that just wasn't good for me earlier today. Okay, this doesn't look good for black, because if he steps on a black square, I get bishop at a3 and I can recover this pawn. There's also queen h5. Yeah, feeling comfortable here. So yeah, I only said that because you've said Crazyhouse Super GM right here, and playing chess today, I felt like the furthest thing from a Super GM. Alright, so this is actually one game where I'm up a long way on time. So perhaps opperwezen is tiring a little bit from the quality of his moves and time on the clock. Okay, got options here. I think bishop at a3 is in order. If bishop at e7 I can take with this bishop, because then that bishop will be pinned. You can't take this knight, so my knight's defended. And if he takes my bishop, then I can recapture with check. So I'm just happy to hold on to the pieces. So if you look at the material, I'm only one pawn up, but my king is much safer than black's king. Knight at f7 is a clear threat. Queen at queen h5. So white's just up a pawn here, and black with nothing direct. So here, the game kind of plays itself with queen h5. So up 10-6 now. People in the chat saying Crazyhouse is better than chess. Chess is so boring. Yeah, it's not really fair, but I did give up chess for Crazyhouse and Bughouse more than a decade ago, because I just love the tactics in chess. That's why I was playing the game. And you never got an end game. The pieces always came back. So I had a natural affinity for it, and I was like, why aren't more people playing this? Why aren't more people enjoying it? But in the last couple years, it really has changed. Crazyhouse is on the map now. I mean, my channel is relatively established, but there's more channels coming on now. Helm's Knight is doing some stuff. I know she's now chess.com affiliated, and so she's doing a lot on that website as well. And that there's, I don't know what, 15 million members on chess.com or something. So that'll bring the game to the masses. Um, I'd been offered some association with chess.com in the past, but for me it wasn't suitable at the time. I think they were demanding that all my content comes from chess.com, or at least 50%, for them to support my streams, and I found it difficult to make content. But apart from that, yeah, I don't know if I would be able to stream at the frequency that they would like, because I have a full-time job, I got a family, so I can't stream as often, and I might have been letting them down a bit there in terms of how often I could do it. Whereas Helm's Knight, I think maybe she's in a different stage of life, and she can cater to that need for frequency. I think that's a good thing, and certainly happy to work with chess.com again in the future. But for now, it's not the right move. I'm just figuring out what to do here. If I play knight at f2, I get hit by bishop at d4, but I get the queen first. The other move, d5, looks like madness. I don't think that can be right. But it could be knight at g3, pawn at f2. I just feel like this is a move where you've got to be accurate. Alright, probably is knight at f2. I'm expecting queen e2 or queen e1, yeah. It will take. And then takes with check, rook at e5. Am I trading myself into trouble here with bishop f7? If there's something good to be found, opperwezen will find it, believe me. And if he just backs the queen off, maybe he's okay as well. Gonna take it to keep him honest. Because he can't just trade off the queen. I'll have queen at f2 at the end of everything. Knight at g5. I think it's right to go to e8 first. But pawn at f7 here. Queen e5 here. Rook at g8. Bishop at f8. And he can't take because of queen at f2. But what if he takes with check? Pawn f7. I just felt if I go to f8, maybe he's even got like a bishop at c5 trick where he can cover the back rank first. Here's what I saw, like king f8, bishop at c5 check, d6, queen takes e5, queen takes, rook at d8, blocker, pawn at e7, then takes, yeah, takes, and then his bishop's defending f2, which is critical. Queen at d1, pawn at e2 would still be effective. I don't know, I'm probably overthinking it. But yeah, I'm just looking at pawn f7 here. If bishop e7 takes, queen at f2. So if the queen backs off now, pawn at e2 is going to be dangerous. Yeah, it's not easy to find the moves for white. If he takes, I can even make a safety precaution with bishop at c4 check first, just to give some coverage here. Then, you know, covering against rook at g8 stops a knight from coming there. But it probably works even without doing that. In fact, it may be better because you can block. So you just let the clock run out there. I don't think you could find a way to continue. Alright, 11 to 6. Okay. I think he's had enough. So he's called last game. Yeah, this will be my last game as well. It's 12:18 here. I have to go back to work tomorrow. My 4-day weekend is over. Yeah, we got an interesting game last time with this line. So in the spirit of opperwezen and I always trying to play the new interesting line, I'm going to play it again. And what happened last time was there was pawn at d6, bishop takes, knight at d4, castles, knight takes, bishop at h3, knight at e3, and there was a whole kingside battle. The difference last time was I spent like 2 minutes thinking, I don't know if it was 2 minutes, but I felt like I spent at least a minute, significant amount of my time bank the castle, whereas this time I'm going to go straight away, knowing that there'll be complications, but that it's not going to be completely lost. Okay, so he's deviated. Last time I think he played bishop at h3. So, what's the difference here? Can I even play rook e1? Make a head start on getting an attack going. Queen at e8, yeah. My checks run out. I'd need a bishop for d8, and even then I'm not getting far. I probably have to preserve the bishop. But if I do that, then he's taken away my knight at e3 move now. I can't defend it with pawn at g2. So this is a good move. Maybe I need to play the check. Oh, or do I have rook e1, knight f4, pawn at c7? That's the move, maybe. Takes, knight at e8, king b6, queen at d8. I could even play queen at b4. Okay, that's probably enough grounds to play rook e1. So now I'm expecting bishop e7, but then I can get bishop g3, and the only difference is I'm getting one more piece active, so I'm one move closer to a counterattack, and if he hits me with bishop at h3, then at least my rook's not under attack. But bishop e7, bishop g3, bishop at h3, like how do I defend that? Like queen at h1? That's so ugly. Can't. I could play knight at h4, and it gets taken, recaptured with check, so I'm not mated in one. And play bishop at h1. I just don't like the look of knight at h4. I don't feel I've got enough attack potential on his king yet. This knight d5 is a really good move. Defend c7. It's only if he takes this that's an issue. Okay, bishop at e5. Oh, I can take that one. Oh, he's giving me a bit too much room to move here. I don't want to take this because bishop d6 just opens up everything for him, but I can just defend. He's just giving me an extra tempo to cover up the hole on the light squares, and rather than go for his king, I'm just going to defend mine. The bishop at h4, bishop at f6. I don't think I need to do that. We'll cover with knight at e4. If he wants to take and play pawn at e3, then I've got bishop at g5. So here I'm going to play bishop at h4 check. Because the difference now is he can't block with a bishop. So right now I'm just playing for absolute safety here, and then I'm going to say, well, you were safe if it was based on immediate attacks happening, but in the longer term this king will be harder to defend in the center. f2 now covered. Knight at h3 check isn't anything, so I have the right to attack here. I should probably develop this knight, or otherwise make threats with like pawn at h6. Just need it to be direct enough. Is there anything with knight at h3? Do I need to look at like bishop f2 takes, knight at h3 takes? Like we could just defend back at home. Okay, bishop at a5. I'd like to make him step a bishop here, or make him just use a piece. Yeah, so he's blocked with a knight, so that gives me more clearance to do things. So this is actually a defensive move here. I'm trying to make him consume something, block, make his piece passive. Otherwise I got a bishop on the side that wasn't really doing anything. Queen at g3. No, we'll take here first. So he can take, or maybe I should take with a bishop. We'll take with a bishop. Pawn at h3, but then I get pawn at g7. Okay, so he's not letting that happen. Time's ticking. I'll play pawn at g4. I just don't want this pin to be worth something. So really slow playing this advantage. Okay, now I need to make a move. Rook e5, no. It's too slow on the clock. I don't think that was a good move. Now my moves aren't making sense. I've just got myself in time trouble, and for no good reason. Alright, I'll pre-move this one. was looking for knight at e6, but he didn't go the way I wanted. Okay, at least h3 gets a bit of a break. Gotta keep this pinned. Knight at f5 is opened up. He might take and grab the knight, but he'll have trouble on the back. This may not work out well for me. I didn't see I couldn't play king h1 because he had this rook sack. But now I gotta try to run the king. Oh, he's playing accurate. I'm just holding on here. Alright, where's the mate? I think it's the queen first. Gotta make him block on e6. Alright, we've got him. Oh, pawn at a3 was mate too. Whoa, okay. I really managed the time poorly there, but I'm thrilled with tonight how well I'm playing the clutch positions. The other night opperwezen took me to town. Yeah, I mean he really had the upper hand on me the other night, so it's nice to come back and get one off him. Yeah, sorry I've not paid attention to the chat. I was really focused on the game there. Said opperwezen GG's too strong. I won some because of time travel due to the fact that you stream, but nice to play always. No, you won some games because you were playing stronger than me at the start. So I find myself very lucky in this last game where let's just take a quick look at that. Then I'm gonna head off to bed. So this stream is about to close. I've already been going a couple hours, but I think with this stream I may actually meet some criteria. I've done enough this week or this month that I can actually apply for affiliate program on Twitch. So I've not really tried to look into it before, but I only just had a look today, and I've seen I might meet my criteria now. So yeah, I mean way back I should have been ahead and just got myself into time trouble. But I wanted to show this critical position where Black's played pawn at g3, and here was where I decided to take the queen. I may actually need to take the bishop. I thought that sorry, rather than doing that, I should just go one move at a time. I thought I could play king h1, but I can't because of check takes, rook takes h2, and bishop at g3. So rook at h4 or rook at h2 is going to finish the game. If you lose the queen, that's going to be over as well. Okay, so that's one way it was going to be finished. So because of that, I've had to go king f1 late in the game. But here, I thought he played maybe a little bit inaccurately. I think if he takes here, that's the right move order. Pawn at f2. If you play king f1, yeah, you're gonna get wrecked there. Rook at e1 for sure. Getting the queen. and you know, it'll finish with the king on c2. So against this move, you've only got king e2 or king d2. The difference is here, with king d2, this time he has bishop at e3, and critically that's stopping the king from getting there. So he'll get the queen with check. What he played in the game, which actually looked stronger for a moment, is actually just a slight inaccuracy, because I can take this, and he was probably expecting that I'm running king d1, and this would cover the c1 square. That's the critical part in this position, getting that c1 square covered, because once he does that, he can capture my queen with check. So the point here in my defense was king d2 doesn't allow rook at e1. If he plays bishop e3 check here, well, he can't, sorry, it's pinned, right? So my king is getting a c1, because I'm just trying to avoid these squares c2 and e2. d2 he could always push me off, but if I can get to c1 I get safety, and that's where the game was decided, because now f1 queen doesn't do it. Rook at e1 gets blocked, he's not getting my queen, and I have a queen in hand, and I have the attack at the end there. Then even here I wasn't sure how to seal off the game. I was even thinking pawn at e7 maybe was more accurate, but the trouble is, if he blocks with the queen here, yeah, probably pawn e7 and I can capture the queen, or king c8, I capture the queen with check. This move just kind of gives me the e7 square to put the pawn on to start an attack going. And then here, the really unfortunate thing, he's only holding a queen to block with, so it's very difficult. And I was able to chase out here. So even if he runs here, I thought knight at c7 may have been good enough. I've got all the light squares covered, so it's all about how do you cover the dark squares, and I should have enough pawns to do it. Yeah, so some interesting crazy house there. What's Helms like saying? Jan, bishop c4, king a6, bishop c4. Yes, that's a lot faster. Thanks. I can only block with the queen, right? And then queen at a5. Ah, well. I still won the game. Alright, Holmes. So, the key part here, if you just joined, was actually the defense, king d2. But yeah, opperwezen made a misstep with bishop at d3. Should have just played for the check straight away, got bishop at e3 and stopped the king from getting to c1. That was a critical bit. Okay, it's now 12:34 a.m. here. I've got what was a short week in 4 days ahead from Tuesday to Friday, but is a long week in the sense that you need to cover still probably 5 days of work in those 4 days. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining tonight's stream. I will be making a bit more of a serious effort on Twitch going forward. I hope I can just get registered for this affiliate program and at least allow people to donate, because there's been numerous requests just recently. Hasn't really been about the money for me, but people are saying, you know, we want to show our appreciation, so I will make that happen. Helms, you've just joined, but I did give you a shout out and give you some credit for doing the work with chess.com recently. I hope that the frequency you can provide will be good for them. I'm not sure if I can keep up the same frequency that you do. I don't have as much time with family and work. Okay, I will post this on YouTube. So if you haven't checked it out already, please do have a look at the 24-hour Crazy House tournament on my YouTube channel. You can find it by typing JannLee or Crazy House in on YouTube. I've got a new section with 5 parts for the 24-hour tournament that just went. A lot of content went into that. Very happy to win that one. I'm going to close the stream right now, wherever you are. Hope you have a good week ahead, and we'll see you next time. Take care.